What's up everybody, welcome back to another episode of Noon's Bassing. We were meant to go out fishing today, but unfortunately the weather didn't really play on our side, so I thought I would just film a little tackle talk video, just discuss what rods and reels I use, what I use them for, and why. So yeah, enjoy the video. Alright, so let's start off with this 13 Fishing Rely Black spinning rod. This rod I mainly use for my drop shot. It is a 2-piece medium heavy 7-foot spinning rod. I've got a Mitchell MX2 on here. Absolutely no complaints with this reel. There was a stage where the drag was had a bit of a squeak on it, but my dad just put some oil on it and then 100%. This is my favorite spinning rod that I've got. I've only got two, but this is my favorite out of the two. I'm super impressed with this rod. My dad's got the casting version of this rod and he also loves it. So we've actually got this little saying, you can always rely on the Rely or the Defy. I think the casting version is the Defy. But yeah, brilliant rod. I highly recommend if you're looking for a good spinning rod, and the fact that it's 2-piece, it's also really easy to travel with. So this is my first spinning setup. Okay, moving on to my next spinning setup. I've got the Akuma Recon 7-foot medium spinning rod, and I have paired this with the Pesca spinning reel. Performance wise of the rod, I absolutely love this rod. It's a 1-piece. It is a broomstick. Like, it is extremely strong. The Recon makes casting rods as well, and I love their casting rods. I genuinely have nothing bad to say about the Recon casting and spinning rods from Akuma. The Pesca reel, performance wise, is a brilliant reel. The only issue that I can pick with the Pesca reel is the safety of the line clip. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about right now. Okay, so obviously this isn't your everyday line clip setup. Normally you spool your line up and you just clip the tag end under the line clip. But just to show you guys what I'm talking about, I've clipped it in over here, and what you'll notice is when you pull on that line clip to get the line out, it's actually really difficult. And if you look at the line now, it is super frayed. Like, I'll never cast with that out. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like, I'm sure I can even break it with my hand. Let's just check. Look at that. That's the only complaint I have with the reel. I've actually had it before where I'll take the line out and it breaks when I just pull it out of the clip. So that was one of the better performances of that line clip. So yeah, Pesca, if you're watching this, that's just something that you guys need to sort out. Otherwise your reel is brilliant, and I love the sound of the drag. Just listen to that. Listen. Oh, love it. But yeah, just that line clip. Otherwise, nothing bad to say about this. Last thing that I think that's actually pretty cool about these Recon rods is just above the butt over there, it actually tells you what the rod is designed for. So this one says drop shot finesse. So I've got a little net tied on the end here. Basically anything finesse drop shot, that's what I use these rods for. This one and the Rely. Both of these spinning rods are more of my finesse style presentation. So on to the next one. This next rod is also the Akuma Recon, but it is the casting version. This one is a 7-foot medium heavy 1-piece spinning rod. I've got it paired with the Akuma Samar. This rod is, like it says over there, I was just about to say it's an all-rounder, but it says it over here, it's an all-rounder. Yeah, it's a, like I said, for the medium, that it's a broomstick. So I've got this one as my punching setup. You'll see that I've got a little craw on here with a, I think that's either 1/4 ounce or 1/2 ounce tungsten, and I'm using 20-pound fluoro on this. That being said, I don't really enjoy fishing the heavy stuff on this. I would much rather go back to the Texas. I'm going to show you my Pesca rod in a bit, and then I think that's the one that I might turn into my heavier setup. I don't enjoy fishing the 20-pound line. I don't feel like it casts nicely. Maybe the weight I'm using is a bit too light, but if you watch my last video, you'll see that I do enjoy fishing the lighter setups. It is a bit of a risk, especially when you're punching or flipping trees or whatever, but I like staying quite discreet. So yeah, that's the Recon 7-foot medium heavy casting rod. This is probably my favorite setup at the moment. I'm just doing so well on it. It is the Shimano Curado paired with the Shimano SLX reel. This one is a 7'2" medium heavy rod. This is my favorite rod. It's just phenomenal. The sensitivity on the tip of this rod, I love this rod. I've been using this, I'm sure you guys have seen, but I've been using this for the oh so famous Nuke Punch by Guggen, and this is that one that I was telling you I use the 12-pound line on to flip trees and even punch. I'm using it with a 1/4 ounce tungsten on there. Yeah, this is my flipping setup at the moment. Like I said, it is a bit of a risk when you're flipping the heavy thick stuff, but I just like fishing the more discreet thinner line presentation. So yeah, this is the SLX XG, so it's got a gear ratio of 8.2 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 8.2, so it's a really fast reel, and that's why I also like it for the flipping, is because as soon as you get that bite, you just crank that fish straight up out of there. So again, that's another reason that I use this for the flipping. Brilliant setup. If you can get your hands on this, I highly recommend. I am in love with the setup. Next up is the Pesca Carolina. This is a 7'3" medium heavy fast action casting rod, and I've paired it with the Quantum Invade casting reel. Brilliant reel. The ratio on this one's quite slow. I think it's 6.1 to 1, so it's quite a slow ratio reel. It's a brilliant reel. The distance I can get on it is good. The drag is strong. No, this is I really enjoy fishing that reel. Onto the rod. So this Carolina rod, I'm sure you guys guessed it, it was designed by Pesca to be used for Carolina. So I don't really enjoy fishing that rig, but I thought this would be a lacquer rod for your punching and whatever. I got an idea to put on a jig on this rod, and that's exactly what I use this rod for now. So if you use it for your Texas style stuff, it's not really I don't enjoy it. The tip is not very sensitive, but for your flipping stuff, it makes a very good heavy rod. I think I'm going to move that setup with a 20-pound line onto this rod for next year. I'm currently using 15-pound on this, and the only thing that I will have to change is the reel, because the ratio on this is a bit slow for your flipping and punching and whatever. That 6.1 doesn't really pull the fish out as fast as you need to. Yeah, I think I would just change the reel on this to a faster ratio just to pull them out of that cover faster. And then this reel is brilliant for any of your moving baits. So I've used this rod as well to fish like a swim bait or a swim jig, even a spinner. Just that slow ratio keeps the bait moving at a more steady pace. You don't want to be using a ratio that's too fast, because otherwise when you're reeling at what feels like a slow speed, you'll still be bringing it quite fast through the water. So use your slower ratios for your moving baits, and then your faster ratios for your more like flipping style, even your finesse stuff, where when you hook them you want to just bring it straight to the boat as fast as possible. So this setup right here, it's a brilliant heavy rod. Yeah, nothing bad to say about the Quantum Invade either. Alright, on to the next combo. It's the Okuma Recon 6'9" medium. This reel is the Okuma Serrano. They also make rods. I think the Serrano is one up from the Recon. Also brilliant rods. My dad's got 3 or 4 of them. This one I use mainly for my top water and jerkbait. I struggled to get this reel set for me, but maybe that was just a user error. But now that it's set, I've got no issues with this reel. I enjoy fishing this setup. You can see I've got the 6 cents popping frog tied on there. And yeah, this is pretty much only what I use this rod for. It says top water or jerkbait, so you can use it for jerkbait as well. You need to try them out for yourself. They are just awesome. So yeah, that is my top water jerkbait setup. Alright, next up is the Shimano Claris. This is a 7'2" medium heavy fast action casting rod, and I've paired it with the SLX XG once again. This is an 8.2 gear ratio, so really fast ratio. One thing that I actually do love about this rod is the grip. That grip is just so grippy. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like, it's so comfortable to hold, and it just sticks to your hand. The Claris to me feels like a slightly stiffer rod than the Curado. I've got the Curado medium heavy fast action as well, and the Claris just feels like it's a little bit more, I don't know, it feels a little bit more stiff. It's extremely sensitive on the tip. That's brilliant about this rod. What I've got tied on this rod at the moment is a little mojo setup here, a light mojo. In the wind, it can be a bit of a mission to fish a light mojo on a medium heavy like this, so you can go down to a medium. I think that would probably be the better option, but yeah, I use this for my mojo. I'll show you my other Claris. I've got my stretch 40 tied on, and you guys know my dad and I love our stretch 40s, and I use it on mojo for that just as well. So here is the Claris with the stretch 40 tied on, also on a light mojo. So I've got my stretch 40 tied on this one. This is exactly the same, 7'2", medium heavy. The only difference is that this SLX is the SLX XT. It's got a special braking system over here that my dad had a friend come from the States, and he brought them from over that side. This is the HG. It's a 7.2 gear ratio, so not as fast as the 8.2, but still quite quick. This reel is just phenomenal. The braking system on this reel is absolutely mental. So if you guys can order these from overseas, yeah, I highly recommend these reels. These are honestly phenomenal. That's my SLX XT on the Shimano Claris. Moving on to the Curado Aldebaran combo. This is a 6'10" medium casting rod. This Aldebaran is an XG, so that stands for extreme gearing. So it's also got an 8.2 gear ratio. It's got an extremely shallow spool. Really shallow spool, so you can't keep too much line on there. I use this for jerkbait and weightless plastics. That's what I use this setup for. This setup is so light. It is by far my lightest setup. I wish you guys could just feel this. I haven't found a rod that I enjoy fishing a jerkbait as much as this setup right here. This has seriously improved my jerkbait fishing, and not only improved the fishing, but also made me just enjoy fishing a jerkbait so much more. So yeah, this is the Curado Aldebaran combo, which I use for my jerkbaits. Brilliant setup, super light. This is the Abu Garcia Black Max combo. Black Max rod, Black Max reel. It is a 7-foot medium heavy casting rod. This is my oldest casting setup. Everyone has that old rod that is probably one of the cheapest rods they have, but they always catch fish in it, always catch their best fish or the most fish or something, but that rod always produces fish. It's like your lucky rod. This is my lucky rod. I caught my personal best on this on a chatterbait at Loskop, which was 4.94 kilos. On this rod, I'm telling you, the drag nearly stripped. It's got a 6.4:1 gear ratio, so quite slow, preferable for the moving baits like your chatterbaits and your spinners. And then I'm running some braid with a 15-pound fluoro leader, and that's my setup. I will throw a chatterbait on this every single dam that I go to. I love this rod. It's been through the wars. I've had the front eye replaced. This rod is, as we have history together. So yeah, I really like this rod. It's not a fancy rod, but it catches me so many fish. The Black Max combo. Now last but definitely not least is the Cullum Spark combo. It is a 6'6" medium action casting rod. I use this rod for all my cranking. Lipless, square ball, shallow diving, deep diving, any single crank that I throw on this rod. This combo is extremely affordable, and it is such good value for money. Brilliant value for money. The distance I get on this reel, it's a bit loud on the cast, it makes like a wing noise, but the distance I get on this reel is insane. I often, when I cast this reel, I look at my dad, I'm like, geez, let me see how far I cast. Look at that. I know I've said the recons are broomsticks, but so is this. This thing is so strong. Like, I'm genuinely so impressed with this rod. I can't compliment it enough. I'll tell anyone that this Cullum Spark combo is a brilliant combo. And yeah, once again, I'll use it for all my cranking. That brings us to the end of this video. Sorry it wasn't a fishing one. I was really looking forward to fish this weekend, but the next video is going to be awesome. It's a video on Loskop Dam, late spring, early summer. We're going to see if we can try and figure out where the fish are at that time of the year. It's going to be, I think it's going to be tough, but it's going to be really, really cool. So you guys can look forward to that. And yeah, I will catch you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace.